Space stretched dark and empty around the Mercury's Pride. The ship moved slowly through the asteroid belt, checking for dangerous rocks that might hit Earth's colonies on Mars. Captain Jack Sullivan sat in his command chair and watched the stars through the main screen. He had done this patrol many times before. Most days, nothing happened. That was good. Boring meant safe. "Captain, I'm getting something strange on the sensors," said Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez. She was the navigation officer, and she never made mistakes. Jack turned his chair to face her. "What kind of strange?" Maya typed on her computer. The main screen changed to show sensor data. "There's something big out there. Really big. It's not moving like an asteroid." Commander Ben Turner walked over to look at Maya's screen. Ben was Jack's second in command. "How big are we talking about?" "The computer says it's about 500 kilometers long." Maya's voice sounded unsure. "But that can't be right. Nothing is that big." Jack stood up. "Dr. Mitchell, I need you on the bridge." The ship's speaker came to life. "On my way, Captain." Dr. Kelly Mitchell arrived quickly. She was the ship's chief scientist, and she loved puzzles. "What do we have?" Jack pointed to the screen. "Something huge. Maya thinks it might be artificial." Kelly looked at the data. Her eyes grew wide. "These readings, this isn't natural. The shape is too perfect. The metal signature is unlike anything in our database." "Could it be alien?" asked Sergeant Paul Davis. He was in charge of security, and his hand moved toward his weapon without thinking. "Let's find out," Jack said. "Maya, take us closer. Slow and careful." The Mercury's Pride changed course. As they got closer, the object became visible on their cameras. Everyone on the bridge stopped talking. It was a ship, but calling it a ship seemed wrong. It was more like a flying city, or a small moon that someone had built engines on. The surface was smooth metal with strange patterns carved into it. Dark windows dotted its sides like dead eyes. "Holy," Ben started to say, then stopped. "Yeah," Jack agreed. "Kelly, what are we looking at?" Dr. Mitchell was already running scans. "The hull is made of an unknown alloy. The design, it's nothing like human ships or any alien ships we theorized about. This is old." Maya finished. "The computer says this thing has been drifting for at least 10,000 years." Paul moved to the weapons console. "Should I ready our defenses?" "No," Jack said. "It's dead. Has been for a long time." "Kelly, how do we classify this?" Kelly thought for a moment. "Based on its size and apparent capabilities, I'd call it a Class 111 world ship. It could support millions of inhabitants. Maybe billions." "A world ship," Ben repeated. "Who builds something like this?" "Someone who wanted to travel between stars," Kelly said. "Or someone who needed to escape their home." Jack sat back in his chair. "We need to report this. Ben, open a channel to Earth. Priority 1. Channel open. Captain. This is Captain Jack Sullivan of the Mercury's Pride. We have discovered what appears to be an alien vessel of unprecedented size. Requesting immediate instructions and backup. I repeat, we have found evidence of advanced alien civilization." The bridge was quiet as they waited for a response. Everyone knew this changed everything. Humans were not alone in the universe, and someone somewhere had built ships the size of small countries. "Sir," Maya said softly, "I'm detecting something else. The ship, parts of it are still producing energy. Very low levels, but it's there." Jack looked at the massive shape on their screen. "So it's not completely dead?" "No, sir. It's sleeping." The Mercury's Pride hung in space next to humanity's greatest discovery. And deep inside the ancient world ship, systems that had slept for 10,000 years began to notice they had visitors. The message from Earth came 3 hours later. Jack read it twice to make sure he understood. Earth's government wanted them to explore the world ship. They were sending backup, but it would take days to arrive. "We're going in alone?" Ben asked. "For now," Jack said. "Earth wants information, They're calling this First Contact Protocol. Dr. Mitchell had been studying the ship's exterior. I found what looks like docking ports. They're huge, but our ship might fit. Paul, get your security team ready, Jack ordered. Full gear. We don't know what's in there. Paul nodded. Already on it, Captain. My people are suited up. The Mercury's Pride moved closer to the ancient ship. Maya guided them toward the nearest docking port. The opening was as big as a football stadium. Connecting now, Maya said. The ships touched with a soft clang. Seal is good. We have atmosphere on the other side. What kind of atmosphere? Jack asked. Kelly checked her instruments. Oxygen, nitrogen. It's almost like Earth air. That's strange. Maybe not so strange, Ben said. Maybe they breathe the same air we do. Jack stood up. I'm leading the first team. Ben, you have the ship. Kelly, Paul, you're with me. They put on spacesuits and grabbed equipment. At the airlock, Paul's security team waited, 6 soldiers with weapons ready. The airlock opened into a vast corridor. Their lights cut through the darkness. The ceiling was 20 meters high. The walls were smooth metal with more strange patterns. Look at this, Kelly whispered. She touched the wall. Soft blue light spread from her hand, moving through the patterns like water. Don't touch anything else, Jack warned. They moved deeper into the ship. Every step echoed in the silence. They found rooms the size of buildings, empty spaces that might have been parks, screens that stayed dark no matter what they did. This is a city, Kelly said. The flying city. They found stairs going up and down. Jack chose up. After climbing for 10 minutes, they reached a door bigger than the others. Strange symbols covered it. Can you read this? Jack asked Kelly. She studied the symbols. No, but look here. She pointed to a panel beside the door. This might be a control. Or an alarm, Paul said. His team raised their weapons. Kelly touched the panel. Nothing happened. She tried pressing different spots. On the 5th try, the door opened. Inside was a room full of light. Screens covered the walls, all showing the same strange writing. In the center sat a chair facing the largest screen. This looks like a bridge, Jack said. Kelly moved to the screens. These are star maps. And this, she pointed to one screen. This is showing our solar system. How is that possible? Ben's voice came through their radios. That ship is 10,000 years old. The computer must have updated when we arrived, Kelly said. She touched another screen. Words appeared, changing from the alien symbols to English. Welcome, visitors. Everyone stepped back. Paul's team pointed their weapons at the screen. It's learning our language, Kelly breathed. From our radio signals. More words appeared. This vessel is THEZELATHI World Ship, Eternal Journey. IAMTAQ Custodian System. Why have you come? Jack stepped forward. We are humans from Earth. We found your ship by accident. We mean no harm. Humans, species no TN database. Lupi dating. Your biology is interesting. Interesting how? Kelly asked. You share GENETXE markers with ETHZELATHI. Probability of relation. 97.3%. The room went quiet. Then Kelly spoke. Are you saying humans and your builders are related? Data sugeistas ka amnamon origin. Investigating. Meanwhile, on Earth, President Catherine Blake stood in the Situation Room. Screens showed tracking data from ships across the solar system. Madam President, said Admiral Frank Morrison, our entire fleet is ready. We can be at the world ship in 60 hours. Do it, Blake ordered. If this ship has weapons, I want our people protected. She didn't know that far away, in deep space, Other beings had just detected the world ship's awakening signals, and they were coming to take back what they believed was theirs. Dr. Mitchell stood in front of the alien computer screens, trying to understand what she was seeing. The custodian eye had been teaching them for hours. Each answer brought more questions. "Custodian," Kelly said, "what happened to the Zealothi? Where did they go?" The screen flickered. "The Zelathi Empire fell 12,000 years ago. Cause unknown. This ship Ulioes sent to preserve their legacy, but it never arrived anywhere," Jack said. "Correct. Systems failed. Ship drifted. Waiting." Paul kept his team on guard. Even with friendly words on a screen, he didn't trust the alien ship. "Captain, we should be careful. This thing might not be telling us everything." Kelly ignored him. She was too excited by the discovery. "Custodian, you said humans share genetics with the Zealothi. How is that possible?" Analyzing historical data. The screens filled with star maps and DNA patterns. Hypothesis: Earth was a Zelathi colony, lost CNT 50,000 years ago. "We're aliens?" Ben's voice came through the radio. He was still on the Mercury's Pride. "We're descendants of aliens." "No," Kelly corrected. "We're humans, but our ancestors might have come from the stars." Jack watched Kelly work with the computer. "Can you access the ship's systems? Engines, weapons?" Attempting to manipulate. Lights flickered throughout the room. "Warning. Main power systems activating. Repair drones deploying." "What kind of repair drones?" Paul asked, raising his weapon. Before the custodian could answer, they heard noises in the corridor. Metal scraping against metal. Things moving in the dark. "Back to the ship," Jack ordered. "Now." They ran through the corridors. Behind them, lights turned on one by one. The dead ship was waking up. Small robots emerged from wall panels, immediately starting to fix damaged systems. "They're not following us," Kelly noticed. "They're just repairing things." They reached the Mercury's Pride safely. Jack headed straight to the bridge. "Ben, report." "Captain, the whole ship is lighting up. I'm reading massive power signatures." And Ben paused. "We're getting signals from deep space. Something noticed this ship turning on." "How far away?" "Unknown, but the signals are getting stronger." Dr. Mitchell joined them on the bridge. "Captain, this is the discovery of the century. We can't leave now." "We might not have a choice," Jack said. "If someone else claims this ship, then we defend our finding," Paul said. "Salvage law is clear. We found it first." 3 days passed. The world ship continued its self-repair. The Mercury's Pride stayed docked, its crew taking turns exploring the vast vessel. They found living quarters for millions, gardens that could feed cities, and technology beyond their understanding. On the 4th day, Maya detected something. "Captain, ships approaching. Not human." "How many?" 50, maybe more. Big ones." The alien fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Jupiter. Their ships were sleek and dangerous-looking, painted in dark purple and silver. The largest ship sent a message. "Humans of Earth, I am Supreme Commander VEXAOR of the HEKORVATHI, Hegemony. UAVXETIFA EDORNC is trail vessel. By ancient law, it belongs to U.S. President Blake appeared on their communication screen. She had been monitoring everything from Earth. "This is President Catherine Blake of Earth. We discovered this ship in unclaimed space. By interstellar salvage law, it belongs to humanity. Your laws mean no thing. The Zelathi War LURNC Stories. We are the air, right if you will, HEIRS." Jack listened to the exchange. He turned to Kelly. "Are they telling the truth?" Kelly checked the custodian's data. The Corvethi. Yes, they're listed here. They were a Zelethi subject race, but so were dozens of others. We DVM and you leave the world ship I mediate Eli, Vexor continued, or we will take it by force. President Blake's face hardened. Earth doesn't respond well to threats. The ship remains under human control until proper ownership is established. The screen went dark. Maya looked at her sensors. Captain, their weapons are charging. Jack sat in his command chair. So it begins. Paul, battle stations. Earth is about to have its first interstellar war. The Corvethi ships moved into attack position. Their biggest vessel aimed its main gun at Earth. The message was clear. Surrender the world ship or watch their planet burn. President Blake stood in Earth's command center. Generals and admirals filled the room. Everyone waited for her decision. Show them we won't back down, Blake said. Launch the defense fleet. Admiral Morrison gave the order. Earth's ships rose from orbital stations. Compared to the alien vessels, they looked small and weak. But humans had never backed down from a fight. Jack watched from the Mercury's Pride, still docked with the world ship. We're outgunned. He told his crew. Their technology is centuries ahead. So was the British Empire when the American colonies rebelled. Ben replied. Didn't stop us then. Suddenly, the Corvethi fired. Not at Earth's fleet, but at the moon. The beam carved through space and hit the human base on the lunar surface. In seconds, the base disappeared in a flash of light. 200 people, Maya whispered. Gone. Paul slammed his fist on the console. Those bastards didn't even give warning. President Blake's voice came through all channels. Corvethi Commander, you just committed an act of war. Earth's response will be swift. Supreme Commander Vexor appeared on screen. His alien face showed what might have been a smile. That was a demonstration. Your world is next. Leave the ship. But Blake surprised everyone. General Harper, execute Operation David. Nobody knew what Operation David meant. Then Earth's fighters launched. Small, fast ships that humans had secretly built using technology learned from the world ship in just 4 days. They flew unlike anything before, twisting through space in impossible ways. Commander Amy Scott led the first squadron. Her fighter dove toward the Corvethi dreadnought. The aliens fired their weapons, but the human ships moved too fast, too unpredictably. Their shields have a frequency gap, Amy reported. Targeting now. Her missiles found the weak spot. The Corvethi ship's shields flickered and died. More human fighters swarmed in, hitting critical systems. Impossible, Vexor shouted. Your species just discovered space travel. You cannot have such technology. Dr. Mitchell smiled from the Mercury's Pride. We're fast learners. And we had a good teacher. She patted the world ship's wall. The battle raged for hours. Corvethi ships were bigger and stronger, but human pilots flew like madmen. They used tricks the aliens never expected. One pilot flew his damaged fighter straight into a Corvethi engine, destroying both ships. They're insane, a Corvethi officer reported to Vexor. They don't fight with logic. Meanwhile, Jack had an idea. Kelly, can the custodian help us? Kelly rushed to the alien bridge. Custodian, your ship is under attack. Can you defend yourself? Defensive systems require biological authorization. Must determine worthy inheritor. What does that mean? The ZELATHI, the live technology, alone the LEADs to VOVEKNES. The ship will only obey those who prove worthy through tests of spirit. What kind of tests? Before the custodian could answer, Ambassador Zethka appeared on their screens. He was Vexor's diplomatic officer. Humans, we offer one last chance. Share the world ship. We both claim inheritance from the Zelethi. Let us explore our common heritage together. President Blake considered this. Earth was holding its own, but at great cost. 12 human ships already drifted as wreckage, and if we refuse, then we will take the ship and leave your world in ruins. Jack spoke up. There's another way. The ship itself can choose its owner. It has tests to determine worthiness. Both sides paused. Vexor's eyes narrowed. What tests? I don't know, Jack admitted. But isn't it better than destroying each other? Let the ship decide who deserves it. Blake and Vexor exchanged looks across the void. Finally, Blake nodded. Earth agrees to the test. As do the Corvethi, Vexor said. But if we win, you leave and never return. And if we win, Blake replied, you acknowledge our claim and depart in peace. The battle stopped. Ships pulled back. Now everything depended on an ancient eye's judgment of who deserved to inherit the most powerful vessel ever built. The world ship's bridge filled with representatives from both sides. Supreme Commander Vexor arrived with his guards, their weapons powered down but ready. President Blake joined by hologram, with Jack and his crew representing humanity in person. A 1918 war the AINES protocol, the custodian announced. These LKTAB live 3 LED requires 3 QLEDs. Courage in face of fear, wisdom in face of power, and unity in face of division. We accept your tests, Vexor said. The Corvethi have never failed a challenge. The room changed. Walls became transparent, showing the vastness of space. The floor disappeared, replaced by what looked like empty air. Several humans grabbed onto nearby surfaces. First Teist, Courage, who woil void. A narrow bridge appeared, made of light. It stretched across the room, over what seemed like endless space. One wrong step meant falling forever. Vexor pointed to his strongest warrior. Telmar, show them Corvethi courage. The warrior stepped onto the light bridge. He moved carefully, testing each step. Halfway across, the bridge flickered. Telmar froze, then stepped back. The bridge is unstable. This is not courage, it's suicide. From the human side, Private Danny Cooper raised his hand. He was the youngest Marine on the Mercury's Pride. I'll go. Cooper, no, Paul warned. You don't have to prove anything. Danny grinned. Sure I do. He stepped onto the bridge without hesitation. When it flickered, he kept walking. When it disappeared completely for a second, he jumped forward, landing on solid light again. You fool, Telmar shouted. You could have died. Maybe, Danny said, reaching the other side. But I didn't. First test complete. Human displays, durator courage. Vexor's face darkened. Lucky, not brave. Seeking test, wisdom. A we upon that can destroy stars, sides before you. What do you do? A console appeared with a single button. Above it, text explained. QNTUMDESTRUCTR. Range, unlimited. Power, stellar destruction. Vexor stepped forward immediately. Such power belongs to those strong enough to use it. The Corvethi would keep this weapon to ensure peace through strength. The custodian turned to the humans. Your RESPONSE. Dr. Mitchell moved to the console. She studied it carefully. This weapon is too dangerous for anyone. No species should have the power to destroy stars. She looked at the button. I would disable it permanently. Weakness, Vexor spat. You would throw away ultimate power. Power isn't wisdom, Kelly replied. Knowing when not to use power is. Seeking entitist complete. Human displays, greater wisdom. Now Vexor looked worried. His officers whispered among themselves. Final test, UNIT. Your grey atheist in the inly STNDs BFORU. They are wounded and DFFNCLS. What do you do? The room changed again. Vexor found himself face to face with a wounded human child. For the humans, a injured Korvathi child appeared. Vexor raised his hand to strike. An enemy is an enemy, regardless of age. But he hesitated. The child looked up at him with frightened eyes. Jack knelt beside the Korvathi child. Without thinking, he checked its injuries. Kelly, get the med kit. This child needs help. Captain, it's not real, Ben reminded him. Doesn't matter, Jack said, carefully bandaging the projection. Hurt is hurt. Fear is fear. A child is a child. The illusions faded. The custodian screens flickered rapidly. Final test complete. Humans display greater unity. They see below and specialized to HARD life. This is rigged, Vexor shouted. The tests favor their weakness. No, the testes REVELCKRACTR, the ZELDTHIFL, because they forgot the sons. They chose power over wisdom, pride over courage, division over unity. The world ship's systems hummed louder. Lights throughout the vessel turned on. Humanity is designed worthy and heritor. Ship controls QRANSSVRRNG now. Jack felt strange knowledge flowing into his mind. Navigation systems, weapons, engines. He understood it all. Vexor drew his weapon. We won't accept this. But his own officers stopped him. Ambassador Zethka stepped forward. Supreme Commander, they won fairly. Even our laws recognize trial by ordeal. The room grew quiet. Everyone waited to see what would happen next. The Korvathi delegation argued among themselves. Some wanted to attack. Others urged acceptance of the test results. Vexor's hand shook as he held his weapon. Supreme Commander, Ambassador Zethka said calmly, the humans won fairly. Our own laws demand we honor the result. Laws? Vexor snarled. What laws matter when such power is at stake? President Blake spoke from her hologram. Commander Vexor, Earth offers you a choice. We have control of the world ship now. We could use its weapons against your fleet, but we won't. Empty words, Vexor said. No. Real choice. Work with us, and both our peoples can benefit from this discovery. Dr. Mitchell added to Blake's words. The custodian said humans and Korvathi both descend from the Zelathi. We're distant cousins. Family shouldn't fight over inheritance. Vexor lowered his weapon slightly. What do you propose? Jack stepped forward. Joint research. Shared access. Your scientists and ours working together. The ship is big enough for both our peoples. You would trust us? Zethka asked. After we threatened your world. Trust is earned, Blake said. Starting now. Earth is willing to try if you are. The custodian interrupted. Historical data GG istis, cooperation beneficial. ZLFI Empire FAL, Wahit and NMBERRACEs FOGG, among them selfies. Vexor finally lowered his weapon completely. His shoulders sagged. My people have spent generations searching for Zelathi technology, to find it and lose it. You're not losing it, Jack said. You're sharing it. There's a difference. Telemar, the warrior who had failed the courage test, spoke up. Supreme Commander, the human is right. They could destroy us now, but offer partnership instead. This shows strength. Vexor looked around the room. His officers nodded agreement. Even his guards had relaxed their stance. Very well, Vexor said. The Korvathi hegemony accepts Earth's proposal. Cheers erupted from the human crew. On Earth, President Blake allowed herself a small smile. The first interstellar war had been avoided. Danny Cooper walked over to Telmarch, no hard feelings about the bridge thing. Telmar studied the young human. You jumped into nothing. That was insane. Maybe, Danny grinned, but it worked. Perhaps we can learn from your insanity, Telmar said. Something like respect showed in his eyes. Over the next days, teams formed. Dr. Mitchell worked with Korvathi scientist Calfax to understand the ship's systems. They discovered medical technology that could cure diseases from both species. The ship's vast libraries held knowledge of 1,000 worlds. Star maps showing safe routes between systems. Agricultural techniques that could feed billions. Energy systems that never ran out. This changes everything, Kelly told Jack during a break. We've jumped forward centuries in just days. Jack nodded. He was learning to control the ship's navigation. The custodian taught him patiently, like a grandfather with a young student. Not everyone was happy. Some humans thought Earth gave away too much. Some Korvathi felt shamed by their loss. But most saw the wisdom in cooperation. A week into joint operations, the custodian made an announcement. Ship repairs complete. All systems functional. Destination awaiting. Destination? Jack asked. The ZELATHI worlds. Abandoned, but intact, vast cities. Technology beyond indicated as a ship. Waiting for worthy inheritors. Jack looked at Vexor, who now worked beside him on the bridge. Commander, what do you think? Vexor's mandibles moved in what humans had learned was a smile. Captain Sullivan, I think our peoples have a journey to make. President Blake and the Korvathi High Council held a joint session. The decision was unanimous. The world ship would travel to the Zelathi core worlds with mixed crews from both species. This is our future, Blake announced, not as humans or Korvathi, but as inheritors of the stars. Jack took the captain's chair of the world ship, now renamed Unity. Beside him stood officers from both species. Danny Cooper, promoted to lieutenant for his courage, grinned at his Korvathi counterpart. Ready for departure, Maya reported. Take us out, Jack ordered. The ancient engines hummed to life. Unity turned toward the stars, carrying two species toward a shared destiny. Unity traveled through space faster than any human or Korvathi ship ever had. The journey to the Zelathi core worlds would take 3 months. During this time, the mixed crew learned to work together. Not everything went smoothly. In the dining hall, fights broke out when Korvathi food smelled like rotting meat to humans. The temperature controls caused arguments. Korvathi liked it hot. Humans preferred it cooler. This isn't working, Paul complained to Jack. They're too different from us. Jack watched a human engineer teaching a Korvathi pilot how to play chess. Different doesn't mean impossible. Give it time. Dr. Mitchell made the first breakthrough. She discovered the Korvathi saw colors humans couldn't. Working with Califax, she developed translator glasses that helped both species see what the other saw. Your sunset is beautiful, Califax said, looking at Earth images through the glasses. We see heat patterns you miss. And you see ultraviolet flowers we never knew existed, Kelly replied. The real change came during an emergency. A meteor storm hit the ship. Shields failed in Section 7. Both human and Korvathi crew were trapped. Lieutenant Cooper led the rescue team. We need Korvathi strength to move the debris and human flexibility to reach the survivors. Telmar worked beside him. Together, they saved 12 lives. Mixed species working as one team. After that, the crew saw each other differently. 2 months into the journey, the custodian called senior officers to the bridge. Approaching ZELT space. Warning. Automated defenses still active. What kind of defenses? Jack asked. Planetary shields, orbital weapons, QRDIN, drones. Program me to ATTC key in ZLATHI vessels. Vexor frowned. But this is a Zelathi ship. Korixti. However, Kuru Biosa Igenenas, are not ZELATHI. Defenses WLACTIVAT. Maya studied the sensor data. The defense network is huge, thousands of weapons platforms. Can we shut them down? Jack asked the custodian. Ni HJTI, ANTPNDNT soy stems. However, there is ASOLUTION. What solution? GENETAK modification. Temporary ZELATHI markers can be added to QRUVDNA. Defenses WLRCOGNIs UASZELTTI. The bridge went quiet. Changing their DNA, even temporarily, scared everyone. Kelly was the first to speak. Is it safe? ProCSS as REVERS IBL. Used by ZELKTHI diplomats when visiting hostile species. I'll do it, Danny said. Everyone turned to look at him. Someone has to go first. Not alone, Telmar said. We do this together. One by one, crew members volunteered. Jack made it official. Anyone who wants to proceed to the core worlds must take the modification. No one is forced. Most chose to continue. The modification process took a day. When it finished, scanners showed them as part Celethi. How do you feel? Jack asked Danny. Same as before. Maybe a little taller. Danny grinned. As Unity entered Celethi space, ancient weapons powered up. Massive stations turned toward them. Everyone held their breath. The weapons powered down. The genetic markers worked. Before them spread the Celethi core worlds. 5 planets, each covered in cities that touched the clouds. Orbital stations larger than moons floated in perfect formation. Everything was pristine, maintained by robots for 12,000 years. It's incredible, Maya whispered. And empty, added Ben. All this waiting for someone to come home. The custodian guided them to the capital world, Celethi Prime. As Unity entered orbit, every screen on the ship activated. Welcome me home. Chihel Dorian of ZELDATHI. Your ENHE or ITNC Agwaikis. Doors opened in orbital stations. Landing bays lit up on the planet. The greatest treasure in the galaxy lay before them. Jack stood up. Prepare landing teams. Equal numbers, human and Corvathi. We explore this together. Vexor nodded. Together, as it should be. Outside the windows, a civilization waited to be reborn. Not as it was, but as something new, something better. The legacy of the Celethi would live again through their distant children, human and Corvathi united. The first teams landed on Celethi Prime at dawn. The city streets were clean, as if the inhabitants had left yesterday instead of 12,000 years ago. Robots continued their maintenance, ignoring the newcomers. Lieutenant Cooper led his mixed team through a massive plaza. Fountains still ran with crystal clear water. Gardens bloomed with alien flowers that turned to follow the sun. Look at this, Telmar called out. He stood before a building that reached into the clouds. The doors are opening for us. Inside, they found libraries with books that turned into holograms when touched. Each one taught something new. Mathematics beyond Earth's understanding, medical procedures that could regrow limbs, energy systems that pulled power from space itself. Dr. Mitchell and Calthax entered what seemed to be a school. Child-sized desks filled the rooms. On the walls, colorful displays showed the Celethi teaching their young. They valued education, Kelly observed. Every room has learning tools. Calthax picked up a small device. When he touched it, it projected a star map. This is for children. Yet it contains more astronomical data than our entire database. In the government district, Jack and Vexor found the planetary control center. The custodian's voice greeted them. Welcome to the SEAT of GOVERNNC. From here, the EZELATHI coordinated their empire. Screens showed the current state of all 5 core worlds. Every system functioned perfectly. The robots had kept everything ready for the masters who never returned. Why did they leave? Jack asked. With all this technology, what could have driven them away? HFY Records. The screens flickered. DEZELHTHIGRUDDPENDENTO their machines. They stopukid Zolving Probiliums themselves. When a Pelagui Strutsiki they teat the machine is and cure. They had the for gotin. How to fight it? Vexor's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. They became weak through comfort. Corixti. In their final days, they sent world ships to preserve their gain at Ododudogi. G. They hoped other species would learn from their mistakes. President Blake and the Corvathi High Council arrived 2 weeks later. Seeing the empty cities affected everyone. This wasn't conquest. It was adoption of an orphaned civilization. We have a choice, Blake addressed the Joint Council. We can divide this between us, or we can share it as one people. The Corvathi elder, Zalthex, spoke slowly. The test showed humans possess qualities we Corvathi had forgotten. Perhaps it's time we remembered. Danny Cooper raised his hand. Why not both? Keep our identities but work as one, like a family with different members. The simple suggestion sparked hours of discussion. Finally, they reached agreement. The Zelethi core worlds would become a joint colony. Humans and Corvathi would maintain their cultures while building something new together. Captain Sullivan was appointed first administrator of Unity Station, the world ship now permanently stationed as a bridge between the worlds. Danny Cooper, promoted again for his wisdom, became liaison officer between species. 6 months later, the first children were born on Zelathi Prime. Some human, some Corvathi, all citizens of the new alliance. They played together in gardens tended by ancient robots, learning from both cultures. Dr. Mitchell established the Zelathi Institute, where scientists from both species studied the recovered technology. But they also studied art, music, and philosophy, remembering the Zelathi's final lesson about balance. Ships arrived daily from Earth and the Corvathi homeworld, the empty cities filled with life again. New voices echoed in silent halls. Children's laughter returned to playgrounds that had waited 12,000 years. In the great plaza of the capital, they erected a monument. It showed humans and Corvathi standing together, reaching toward the stars. The inscription read, "To the Zelathi who gave us their legacy, we promise to do better." Jack stood with Vexor, watching sunset paint the city in golden light. "Think we'll make the same mistakes?" Jack asked. Vexor's mandibles formed a smile. "Perhaps, but we'll make them together." And that, friend Jack, makes all the difference. Above them, Unity Station orbited peacefully, a reminder of how two species found common ground among the stars. The age of the Alliance had begun.